A lot of these were on my list. So this one here was $1. It's also a cloth bound book. I know so many people absolutely love this book. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I have been wanting this book for so long. I really want to get into reading some classics. Oh, I might send her around Christmas. Enough said. Loved the cover. This is always on like Witcool's like top 100 books. Can a love story with a perfect beginning survive a lifetime between two imperfect people? So I was really hoping to find some of Cassandra Clare's other works. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new here. This is going to be my annual Rotary Club book sale haul. Now I am really excited to show you guys all of these books because I feel like this is probably the best haul that I have done from the Rotary Club so far. I live in New Zealand and every year there is an annual book sale which is put on by the Rotary Club, and all of the money raised goes to charity. It's kind of very similar to the Lions book sale that happens in Hawke's Bay, but this one is just up here in Auckland. It is run over 3 days, and I did actually go on the day that it opened, and the last 2 years I've gone on the second day, and I've still managed to find some good books on the second day, but definitely going on the first day has made such a difference. Every single book is either a specialed book, which means it has like a particular price on it, or it is a 3 for $10 or $4 a book basically, so depending on what works out cheaper. A lot of these were on my list, so I managed to tick off so many. I have a range of genres. Let's jump into this video. I'm gonna start off with these 3 books here because we actually went to a second Rotary Club book sale in South Auckland, and then the one that we normally go to is on the North Shore. This one here, this one is The Long Game by Elena Amaz. I heard Rachel Catherine talk about this and I really wanted to give it a go. I haven't read anything by this author. Seems like this chickie is just working at her father's football club. There's an embarrassing video of her that goes viral. It's in a small town. It seems to be like a sports romance. There's like a guy in town. I'm very intrigued to see how we go. I haven't read a lot of sports romances. I read the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace and really enjoyed it. This book sale had cheaper prices, so this one here was $1. I picked up this one here. This one is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I can't remember if it was Sarah or Haley in Bookland that talked about this, but this just sounded intriguing when I heard them talk about it. This one is a mystery book here. It just seems like this person has been murdered. It seems like there is someone who is trying to figure out who her killer is. I think he's trying to go back in time to break the cycle of her being killed and try and save her life. Very intriguing. Again, was only $1. It's over 500 pages, so hopefully it's not slow. And then the last book that I picked up from this particular book sale is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. So this is obviously a classic. It's also a cloth bound book, which is really nice. We just didn't have this in our collection of classics. I've actually never read Treasure Island, but I think it's like one that kids can read. And there's also like pictures and stuff in here. This one was $3. All of the rest of the books were part of the North Shore Rotary Club book sale. So we'll start off with a sci-fi book because it's the only sci-fi book that I got. This is also not in any particular order of like what I found first. I found Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is probably one of 2 of my most favorite books that I have found because I have been desperate to read this. I know so many people absolutely love this book. This cover does match my copy of The Martian by Andy Weir. But basically this one here follows a scientist who goes up in space, and I think the planet, like planet Earth, is dying because the sun is dying, and so they go up into space to try and figure out like what's going on. And it seems like everyone that he has gone up with has died in the process. I don't know if he knows where he is or if they were like put into a coma and then they like wake up when they're like at the destination, but he's the only one that wakes up. I'm not quite sure, but I'm very, very intrigued. We will do a general fiction book, Anxious People by Frederick Buckman. This cover is not my favorite. I much prefer this cover. I thought I'll read it, and if I really enjoy it, then I'll probably switch out for this other cover, because this other cover matches my other Frederick Buckman books. But last year I actually found 2 Frederick Buckman books. I know that Rachel Catherine and Destiny Sidwell and Sarah Caroli have absolutely raved about this book. I haven't read anything by Frederick Buckman, but I know that he's like a very popular author at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's like centering around an open house where people go to like this open home to view this house, but the person there like takes them hostage. Very, very intriguing. And I think it talks about like a lot of like mental health stuff in here. It's set in a small town. Next up we will do some mystery books. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. I don't know how you pronounce this last name, the surname, it's just NG. But I have been wanting to pick up this book for a very long time. It has been on my list of books to try and find for years. Surprisingly, it's really hard to find in the op shops. I first heard Rachel Catherine talk about this, so it just seems like it's in a world where everything is meticulously planned, everything is very organized, and it follows an artist and single mother who arrives in this town with her teenage daughter, and it seems like everyone is drawn to them for some weird reason. It seems like this mother and daughter are keen to adopt this child into their family, but there is something sus about them, and this other family is trying to figure out what is up with them because something is not quite right. The next mystery book is the book that I am most excited to have found at this book sale. I have been wanting this book for so long, and so many people love the series, and I've just been wanting to give it a go. This one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So this one is the first book. I think it is literally just called the Truly Devious duology. If I'm wrong, I will write it on the screen somewhere. But this one I'm pretty sure is like a YA series. It's set at a private school. It seems like someone was kidnapped at this private school like maybe years ago. The mystery of like what happened to them hasn't been solved, and so I think this person goes to this private school to try and figure out what happened to them. Sounds very, very intriguing. I only managed to find the first book. I would have loved to have got the second book as well. The last mystery book that I found, I am again very, very happy to have found. This one was actually on the specials table, so this one was $6, and I did actually see a couple of copies. Heard Scrivspo or Harriet on here talk about this book, and it sounded really intriguing, and that is this one here. This one is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, or Osman, I don't actually know how you pronounce it. I think it just basically follows this group of elderly people who are like are obsessed with true crime, and then one day I think there's a murder in their town, and this elderly group of people are like determined to solve it. So sounds very intriguing. Again, I know this one has been like quite popular recently on Booktok. Next up we have some classics. I really want to get into reading some classics because it's a genre that I don't read a lot of, but obviously the books are like classics for a reason. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I know that people have been loving this book on like Booktok and BookTube. This one is thick, and like the font is quite small, so it might take me a decent amount of time to get through this. Oh my gosh, it's like just under 630 pages. She's long. I also feel like I need some advice on like what classics to start with, because in my life I've only ever read Animal Farm by George Orwell and A Christmas Carol, which I read last year in Vlogmas, and that one I did actually really enjoy. So should I start with The Secret History? Should I start with a different classic? Let me know down below what ones you guys would recommend if you like classics. But yeah, I have no idea what this is about. I just know that a lot of people really like it, so I thought I would grab it to add to the collection. This classic I was so excited to find because I had 2 classics on my list that I really wanted to find. One of them was this one, and the other one was Emma by Jane Austen, and unfortunately I didn't find that one, but that's okay. But the one that I did manage to find on my list, this one is Little Women by Louise May Alcott. So it just follows like a group of sisters, and I think it's just like following them as they're like growing up. Oh, it might center around Christmas. It says Christmas won't be the same this year. I think a lot of these characters represent the author's life and how like she kind of grew up, so that's very intriguing. I also love this version, like this cover that I managed to find. I just think it's so incredibly nice. The last 3 classics are all Jane Austen's work, so again, I don't really know too much about these books, but I know that they've had a lot of hype. Obviously they're classics for a reason. So I got Persuasion, which is quite a nice short classic, Sense and Sensibility, and then I also got Pride and Prejudice. This one here has also been annotated by the previous person, which I didn't realize until after I had bought it. However, maybe it will help me to understand this a little bit better, because like I said, I haven't read a lot of classics and I know that they can be a little bit confusing sometimes to read. Is this one like Regency vibes? I also love that they're all the like black penguin classics, because a lot of our classics are just like random colors, or they're the orange ones. Next up we'll do some thriller books. So again, very happy to find some thrillers. I don't read thriller a lot. I do have to say I do enjoy a good thriller. I apologize if I'm in a slightly different position. My battery just died, so I've just changed it to my other one. The first thriller that I picked up is this one here. This one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I have 3 of Lisa Jewell's books currently. I haven't read any of them, but I know that Jess Conte really enjoys Lisa Jewell's books. This one just sounded really intriguing. There's like really not much on the back. It just says, in a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. They've been dead for several days. Who has been looking after the baby and where did they go? Enough said. Sounds very intriguing. And I had seen it once at the op shop and I didn't get it because I couldn't remember if it was on my list, and I'm trying to be very careful with buying books and only buying books that are on my list to get. And I didn't get it, and then I got home, realized it was on my list, and regretted it ever since. So I was very happy to find it there. I was also really surprised I didn't find more Lisa Jewell's books, because I'm also after None of This Is True, but I might listen to that one as an audio because it has like a podcast or an audio book element to it. The last thriller book that I picked up, I haven't heard anybody talk about, but I did see it at the library one time and I read the back and it sounded intriguing. I'm trying not to get books out from the library at the moment because I have so many books downstairs in my library room, which I did do a video on. If you missed it, I'll leave it down below, that I really need to read. So I've been trying to read my physical TBR, but it was this one here. This one is The Interview by C.M. Ewan? Her Dream Job or a Deadly Trap. I feel like I have to read the back for this because it will just do it more justice than I can. It's 5 p.m. on a Friday. You have been called to an interview for your dream job. In a stunning office, 13 floors above the city below, you are all alone with the man interviewing you. Everyone else has gone home for the weekend. The interview gets more and more disturbing. You're feeling scared. Your only way out is to answer a seemingly impossible question. If you can't, what happens next? Very intriguing. Again, have heard nobody talk about this, so I'm intrigued to see what I think. Next up, we will do a couple of historical fictions. So again, I don't read historical fiction a lot. I feel like I haven't really dipped my toe into that pond, but I kind of want to. And one of these books here was on my list to get. The other one wasn't, which I know completely negates what I was saying before. I'm only trying to buy books on my list. It was a book about books, and so I was like, well, as a reader, I feel like I would really enjoy that. So that one is this one here. This one is The Librarian of Burned Books by Brianna Lebowski's. I have no idea. Loved the cover. Very cool. It's a like World War II novel. So it seems like you're following this girl who's escaped from Berlin to Paris, but it's obviously like during the war times. Through the quiet power of books, she believes she can help counter the tide of fascism she sees rising across Europe and atone for her mistakes. But when a dear friend decides actions will speak louder than words, Hannah must decide what stories she's willing to live or die for. And her husband seems to be fighting in the war. The only way to win this battle is to counter the senator's propaganda with a story of her own, at the heart of which lies the reclusive and mysterious woman tending the American library of banned books in Brooklyn. And then the last historical fiction book that I got is this one here. This one is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. It says that it's based on an incredible true story. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but they're the person who like tattoos all of the like prison numbers onto the prisoners in the concentration camps in Auschwitz. Just such a fascinating concept, and it seems to be like some sort of love story as well. If you guys have read this, let me know your thoughts as well. This is always on like Witkels's like top 100 books. There were quite a few of these there that I saw. We've saved the two best genres for last. We have romance and we have fantasy. So I'll do some romance first and then we'll get into the fantasy. So this book here, I feel like I have a little bit of regret picking up, only because I saw on Google that it came up as erotica and I'm not really a big fan of spice. But the back sounds interesting, so I think I'll start it, and if it's too spicy for me, then I'll DNF it. It is part of a series, but I only got the first book. And it was also in the YA section, so I'm like, if it is an erotica, why was it put in the YA section? Because YA does not contain that sort of content in their books. This one is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie Maguire. Again, it follows this girl who, she seems to be like a very like goody two shoes in the nicest way possible. She's going to this like college, she's excited for a life of new beginnings, but then she like falls for like the bad boy. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. I'll give it a try, see what I think, but again, if it's too much and it's too spicy, then I will DNF it and I will just give it to like a little local library or something. And then the last romance book that I picked up is this one here. So this one is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I know people are a bit like up in arms with Colleen Hoover and her books, but personally I really enjoy her stories. I've read the It Ends With Us duology, which is It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. I've also read November 9 and Confess, and Verity actually. Saw this one on the specials table for $6 and thought I would pick it up. It seems like you have a then and now timeline, and it just seems like some sort of romance. Can a love story with a perfect beginning survive a lifetime between two imperfect people? The future hinges on promises made in the past, reminding us that the enduring power of love is the ultimate savior. The only thing I'm not going to be keen for in this book is if it has cheating. This one's pretty short, like it's just over 300 pages, so it won't take too long to read. And then last but not least, we have fantasy books. So this one here, I don't know if it's technically classified as like fantasy, or if it's like general fiction with like a magical element, but because it has a magical element, I put it in the fantasy category and it lives on the fantasy section of my bookshelf. But that is this one here. This one is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. It says, a magical house with a secret past. I have The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I know a lot of people really enjoy the books written by that author. It says, one magical family, two dedicated guardians, 6 dangerously gifted children. Is this a sequel to The House on the Cerulean Sea? I don't know. Last year I finished off the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series by Ransom Briggs, and the idea of like magical children and like a house is very similar to that, so I really hope that I enjoy this. I feel like this might be the sequel. The Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series is one of my favorite series of all time, so if anything can give me a similar vibe to that, then I'm set. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I know a lot of people really enjoy R.F. Kuang's writing. I was actually hoping that I would find some R.F. Kuang there, and this is the only one that I found. Again, this is the first book in a trilogy, but I only managed to find the first book, and it is quite dense, so it probably is good that I just picked up the first book here, because it's like just over 520 pages. Again, it seems like it might follow students at a school, yeah, at the most elite military school, and yeah, it's just following 2 students. One of them is like a peasant girl from the south, who basically I think they train them to be like assassins or fighters or something. The last book that I managed to find and the last book that I have for this haul is this one here. So this one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This one is the first book in the Dark Artificers series, which is in the Mortal Instruments world. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that this series here follows like the children of the people in the Mortal Instruments series. But I'm very happy that I managed to find this book, because I was really hoping to find some of Cassandra Clare's other works, because I have got the prequel series, The Infernal Devices, and I've got the Mortal Instruments series, and I've got, I think, Chain of Gold or Chain of Iron, but I didn't have anything from this series. Again, would have liked to have found the whole series, and I have started reading the Mortal Instruments series. I've read the first 2 books and have really enjoyed them so far. It's just one of those series that like I never read as a kid. I read like everything else. I've also got Swordcatcher by her. So there we go, guys. Those are all of the books that I managed to find in the Rotary Club book sale. I really hope you guys enjoyed this haul. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. If you guys do want to see more of these Rotary Club hauls, then I will leave the playlist down below. And if you guys want to see more like book hauls in general and things, I will leave my playlist called Reading down below. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, just no spoilers. And obviously if you want to read any of these books after watching this video, then let me know that as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!